Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning, and she shall be utterly burned, fire, strong, saith Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua.
Well, you might recognize the group of black separatists that occasionally gathers in Raleigh's Moore Square. That group has ties to a nationally known hate group, and this weekend they will hold their annual Passover celebration at the Raleigh Convention Center. WRAL's Joe Fisher is live in downtown Raleigh, and Joe, the gathering is raising some concerns.
Deborah, this group is widely viewed as anti and anti-white. The city tells me they expect about 500 members here at the convention center this weekend. But the city, along with the mayor, say they just found out exactly who rented this space earlier this week.
Your pastor is your protection, supposed to be.
On the streets of downtown Raleigh, you'll find members of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, or the ISUPK.
You cannot be free without your oppressor being destroyed.
Let me tell y'all something, brothers and sisters.
The group's leader is Commanding General Yahana, seen in this YouTube video touring the Raleigh Convention Center. It's where the ISUPK will hold its annual Passover celebration on Saturday.
Convention Center, taking it to the next level, worldwide.
The group is part of the Radical Hebrew Israelites, which the Southern Poverty Law Center identifies as a hate group for its anti-Sikh, anti-white, and anti-LGBT views, and chapters that, quote, perpetuate the anti-Semitic belief that so-called Jews have stolen their identity and birthright.
They call us a hate group because we turn around and say the white man is the devil for the things that he's done. The word devil just means adversary.
It really is deeply upsetting.
Rabbi Eric Solomon with Beth Meyer Synagogue in Raleigh is disturbed about this city-owned convention center renting space to the ISUPK.
I mean, if this was, God forbid, the KKK or other hate groups that are more widely known, I can't imagine this would be allowed to happen. I mean, if this was, God forbid, the KKK or other hate groups that are more widely known, I can't imagine this would be allowed to happen. I mean, if this was, God forbid, the KKK or other hate groups that are more widely known, I can't imagine this would be allowed to happen. It appears there's some loophole here that needs to be looked at more closely.
Rabbi Solomon says he respects people's First Amendment rights, but feels the city should not make space for hate.
This is not what we need in our city. It appears there's some loophole here that needs to be looked at more closely.
Rabbi Solomon says he respects people's First Amendment rights, but feels the city should not make space for hate.
This is not what we need in our city.
Party.
Lawless and no respect.
Near the 700 block of Tate Avenue after hearing that someone was shot to death there Friday night.
It's like a safe place for them. We're grown-ups watching them. They ain't around here shooting each other, killing each other.
I ain't nothing out here to do for the youth.
We got some unfortunate news to talk about, family. A Memphis mom had came to her demise after a rapper make a diss song about his ops. Now, according to the public, it might seem that the motive and the size involved is clear, which we'll later discuss. Not to mention, a lot of these rappers put in these streets in their lyrics, which we'll see also. Now, this local neighborhood in Memphis that we'll discuss has been in the news not once, but twice within the last 5 days. But recently, Set had dropped a music video titled Piss Set Off. As you can see, this video had dropped a couple days ago, but it was also shot on this neighborhood on Tate Street. Now, the shoot of this music video had made local headlines. According to some neighbors, it got so bad that some pastor had made a complaint that he couldn't get into his church. Now you can see why those lyrics may have played a part.
His Life of Liberty Church, and the pastor that I spoke with, he says that he's just tired of those block parties blocking the entrance to his church here.
Party after party.
So now that they know who is coming to this event, are they planning more security?
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashah Bahashem Arecha Ha-Kodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you, brethren, you fellow followers and believers of this faith, and shalom to the elect. So anyway, I want to go on this video with the ISUPK having their annual Passover, and this group WRAL is calling them a hate group that books at the convention center for Passover celebration. So when you dig under the fine line, you can see what they're saying, right? You can see how they put, the fact that they put Passover in there, and this is automatically going to link us to an anti-Sem, as they say. The crazy thing about these videos, when you talk about these matters, you have to tread lightly because you know how it's going to go. Your video may not be up very long. So I'll talk in codes and circles maybe, or, the Spirit hits me. I'll just try to get to the point as best as possible. So these news reporters, they actually brought more attention to the situation that people may have not even known, right? Now imagine if this news story never went up and these men of ISUPK minded their business and had their Passover. Now that's a Great Millstone. We don't rent those big halls out. We don't indulge ourselves in the world to know our matters to even make it to this point. This is solemn assembly between us, the brethren and the Lord. And you don't need no big halls, as if we done made it to the kingdom and we got a big hall and they still got to rent it. So clearly you don't even know if you saved. You don't know if anybody in the Passover is saved. So all we have is hope that we will be saved. Right? Now you had a lot of Pharisees, as Matthew 23 said, they sat on Moses' seat and they set themselves on high so they could be seen and look like the top dogs of Israel, where men worshiped them. But we're not going to go so much into that. I don't even think I have any scriptures up. I saw this right away and I wanted to do a commentary on it. The fact that this so-called hate group also teaches that Africans can't be saved. So you see how they just came out with it, and it's not concerned about Africans or any other nations. It's only the hate towards them. And then the sick part about it, as I put the other clip in, this rabbi here and his others and men under him or over him, I don't even think he's a true rabbi, I don't know. They're the ones in charge of the rap videos, the promotion of killing, murder, adultery, right? Lasciviousness, wicked acts. They're in control of that. They're in control of these men, these young men holding money up to their ear, throwing money around, the women going to follow because they're the weaker vessel. They're responsible for that. They are also responsible for the corruption from the beginning of lack of fathers in the home, and then use the women to blame us for it. And you would think with all the simps, that these simps will step up and be father figures to these young men. No, they won't do that either. The simps are only after one thing, and that's to reach the approval of women, especially the black woman. So I may even quote some. I believe it's 2 Corinthians. We are not ignorant, 2:11. We are not ignorant of Satan's designs. Yep. Devices, but it says designs as well. We know what's going on, man. Now, I just looked at the video. Again, they wasn't concerned about no other nationalities that Israelites come against, like the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Elamites, and all the other nationality that's on the chart. Seems like the news is only concerned about white or black, and that's what keeps the feud going. And those top elitists, they don't care. They love the confusion. And this is why we teach that they can't come at GMS and say anything like that. They can't do that, because we're about the nation of Israel as a race, no matter what color they look like or what nationality they look like they belong a part of. You know, so it's like they're using the news to stir up the controversy, right? And then they put their little clips that they want. They want to put their little clips in there, you know, to get the attention. Now, another scripture I may quote, I believe is Matthew 10:16. Be wise as serpents, right? And another translation says, and as innocent as doves, right? As innocent as doves. So let's go. I'm going to look this up in a blue letter. Be wise as serpents, and it says, and it is innocent. Sometimes you look up the other translations, and they'll pretty much tell you what exactly it's saying. So there's no reason why I have no idea. I think one time they did the Passover on the beach, and all the black people, you know, Israelites, so in their minds, black people came all on the beach. So now when you look at this in the rap music, there's still a difference. When we go out there and teach and do what we do, and let's say these men are having their Passovers, that's non-violent. That's not about guns. That's not about shooting one another. As awful as we believe ISUPK is, they're not teaching to get a gathering and start shooting one another. Now these police, this news media is putting this up on another level to make it seem like it's going to be so much protesting and fighting and shooting, when we're the most peaceful people as Israelites on the planet, as among so-called black people. But you see how they tried to link the rap and the destruction that they caused, and they try to merge it. They try to merge it into what we believe and make it seem like what we're doing is detestable and sick and wicked and evil, because we don't agree. So it seems to me that they kind of want us to be thugs and gangbangers and killers and shooters, right? They need police escorts. You cannot link what we teach and what we believe and call it actually hate when we're doing nothing to anybody to cause them any kind of hate or pain. If you're pained by something that someone says, then you have to examine yourself, right? We understand the pain that we suffer because of what actually happened, and still is happening, and is not recognized for all the corruption that was put in. Now, these same people that claim that they had these so-called problems, they are running Hollywood. They're running our people. They're doing what they will with our people. Be wise as serpents, right? And harmless as doves. Let me see what this says. Wise, G5429. What does it say? Intelligent, prudent, mindful, right? It says discreet, sageous, or discreet. Let's look up sageous. And this is why we say if you didn't have those big banquets and those big Passovers, which we believe is money involved, you know, Sagacious, let me make sure I'm pronouncing it right.
Sagacious.
Okay, sagacious. Of keen and farsighted penetration and judgment, discerning. Right? So using discernment. Acute discernment. You know? Showing insight and understanding, discrimination. So, we're supposed to set ourselves apart, be holy. We're not to do as the heathens do. Right? And this is what's going to constantly stir up controversy. And then what ISUPK says, see, it's because we're in the truth. We'll be persecuted. You know, people will not like us. We're in the media and people are seeing. And true, people are seeing. But you can attract the wrong attention that way. Yahushua wouldn't have needed to do that. You know, when attention comes, it comes, however it comes. But to rent these big halls, have a ton of people come in and spend all this money. Now, again, we got brothers who do big gatherings, and you might have to rent a spot or a location, but it should always be discreet. You don't need that, man. These guys want to be like on top of the world and be known as the great Hebrew Israelite group. Anyway, I just think it's kind of tasteless, number one. Let me read this part again. I'm going to go to the Passover. And just look up solemn assembly and see what it says. I believe it's in, obviously it's in Leviticus as well. And then we're going to look up this word, the solemn assembly. Now, when you look at solemn assembly in the blue letter, let's see where I'm at. It says 861. Well, you might see it in H. Where are we at? Yeah, 6116. Assembly, assemble, sacred, festival, meeting, assemblage, company, group. Right? Now we understand that you had, you know, at the time of the Passover, this is what was told to done. But now it says, it goes on to, from H6113, Astara, solemn, right? We see it goes here, it says to restrain, to retain, close up, shut, withhold, refrain, to stay detained, to restrain, to halt, to stop, to restrain. Now we go to the word solemn. When you look it up, it says invocation of religious sanction, observance of established form of the ceremony, sublime, marked by grave sedateness, earnest sobriety. We can keep looking up those words. Somber, gloomy. Let's look up sedate. And it says to dose with sedatives. It's like sedatives, Salakia. And basically something that tending to calm, moderate, or tranquilize nervousness. So you get the point, and that's why we're in fear of the Lord, but you have to have faith and believe. You know, a lot of these guys, a lot of these people don't believe. They do it because of, you know, some public establishment. You know, they don't really see the seriousness of this truth. And all kind of complications can come out of that, but it must be done because the Lord is orchestrating all of it. Anyway, I just wanted to bring this up. I thought this was kind of crazy. Out of all stories, they promote this story, and all the promotion and the hatred that is promoted with Christopher Columbus and the conquering of America and the other islands, the various islands in South America, and all these things, and they teach us in school, and they give us holidays for it. So that's kind of weird, but we understand what it is. That's all I have on that. Shalom.